As much as I love folding smartphones, which I do love them quite a bit, one of the biggest problems I have with the current world, the market of folding smartphones, is the lack of choice in North America. If you want to buy something that folds like the Z Fold, a normal phone that opens up into a great big beautiful tablet. Well, if you're in North America, you pretty much have the one choice, and that is the Z Fold 4. If you want to buy a clamshell, a flip phone that opens up like this, like a normal, like a normal phone that folds over halfway, you pretty much have the Z Flip, and that is pretty much it. Yeah, I know that the Razr exists, but it's old now. The Razr is old now, and that is very, very frustrating because it turns out there is a new Moto Razr, but for some reason Motorola has seen fit to not currently release this thing in North America. Let's take a look, though, at a quick series of tweets from Evan Blass, EV Leaks. This guy is kind of the guy when it comes to leaks on tech in a lot of ways. This is the Moto Razr 2022. Now, this is not a leak because this device is available to be purchased in other markets, just not in North America. I believe, I may be wrong, but I think right now it's China only. And I think that this thing looks pretty good. I think it has some potential advantages even over the Z Flip. The camera specs on paper are actually better than what the Flip has. The Flip has a couple of 12 megapixel sensors, which are whatever. The camera performance seems to be just okay, whereas this Razr has a 50 megapixel primary, a 13 megapixel ultra wide that can actually double as a macro. It can focus very, very closely. So you almost kind of get a 3 camera setup here. On paper, that should be an improvement. Take a look at that cover display, how big and nice that is. That is larger than what you have on the Z Flip, and it's more flexible. You can basically run any app you want on that cover display, which is something that you can kind of do on the Flip with some tweaking, but it's really small, smaller than this, so I don't think you're really going to want to do that. But again, bigger screen, more flexible. A lot of the other specs are really, really close, right? It's the same processor. The battery's 200 milliamp hours apart in favor of the Z Flip. The RAM is the same unless you want to upgrade to the 12 gig model. 8 is standard. So there's a lot of good stuff here. And if you take the price in China and you move it over, you transfer that to dollars, it winds up being right around $1,000. So you can imagine my massive disappointment when you see this and you think this looks really good and it's not apparently coming to North America. Well, let's pump the brakes because maybe, just maybe, that's about to change. If you look at these images that he has posted, these leaked images, this marketing imagery that he has posted here, let's get rid of that sidebar so we can see this. You're going to notice something, okay? In addition to the fact that this thing just looks good, the cover display looks good. I like the appearance of this thing. I like the rounded nature of it. It almost puts me in the mind of the old Palm Pre back in the day, as crazy as that may sound. You got your split screen there. What are you noticing? Are you seeing the thing that I'm seeing? Side-mounted fingerprint scanner. Good call there. Are you seeing the thing that I'm seeing? Well, what you should be noticing here is that all of this imagery is in English. And up to this point, that has not been the case. The stuff they've been showing has been targeting the Chinese market and therefore has been not in English. It's been in Chinese. So this gives us some indicator. Why is Motorola creating promotional imagery for this device in English if it's not coming to English-speaking countries? Well, of course, they would not be doing that. That would not be something they would be doing. Therefore, the fact that these images exist is a good indicator that this device is going to be leaving this China-only situation and heading into some other markets, like potentially North America. So very soon, we may be deciding between the Galaxy Z Flip 4 and the Moto Razr 2022. The people that are trying to decide what clamshell foldable to buy, this is going to be a very, very interesting conversation. If we look at these two devices and we go spec by spec, like I said, you can see these for yourself. The screen size, the RAM, the battery, how close these things actually are. That internal processor, which I think is the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, and then on the Razr, Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. There's a lot of parity here, and there's a lot of reason potentially to actually favor the Razr over the Flip. Gizmo China here has some image samples from this new camera, and honestly, I think it looks pretty good. I think it's doing a pretty good job here capturing a good amount of detail. This is a low light image. That bigger sensor doing a good job of soaking up a good amount of light. I think there's a lot of reason, like I said, to potentially favor. There's that macro coming in clutch there if you want to get an image like that. A lot of reason potentially to be favoring the Moto Razr. Maybe you've just got Z Flip fatigue, right? Maybe you already, like my wife has a Z Flip 3, the 4 came out and she was like, I just don't really care all that much. It's not really enough to change. But a Razr would potentially be enough to grab her. She always liked the design of the Razr better. So maybe you've got Z Flip fatigue and you just want something different. Well, maybe, just maybe, that Razr is coming your way, hopefully sooner than later. Guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. I will see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.